the same. Few people laughed, few people cried. Most people were silent. I remember the line from Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty. To impress him, takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all felt that one way or another.
Politicians realize, give the people what they want and they will support you. Tell them what they want to hear and they will like it and then they will support you. If you tell them the truth, they're not only not going to support you, you may be assassinated. You may wake up one morning and find out you've been killed because you know too much and you're causing too many problems among the people. The national leaders are not appreciative of you trying to wake the people up. They don't want the people woken up. That's what we've been feeding them: alcohol and drugs and movies and entertainment and ball games and all the rest of this crap. We've been trying to keep the people occupied and stupid and ill-informed and unread. Purposely, we designed a school system that does not only not teach people, but it actually keeps you stupid. And so that's why Bertrand Russell said many years ago, if you want to be wise and intelligent, go to the library and sit and read. If you want to be stupid, go to school. They'll teach you what stupidity is. You'll come out, you won't even know. You won't understand nothing when you come out of school. Why? Because we designed the school to do just that. We designed it to make sure that if you go to school, you'll come out ignorant, ill-informed, unread, dim-witted, and totally confused. That's what we do in school.
Hello. That's enough of that. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Monday, 9th of May, 2022. So we have lined up the first Monday show that I will be hosting by myself. Now, currently, Banksy is away in some sunny resort somewhere, drinking his cocktails with cucumbers and oranges. He will not be joining me on Wednesday, so I can go full conspiratorial, or as intelligent people call it, Wendy, discussing evidence. Only joking. So our good man, Danny Roscoe, will be here shortly. He's having some technical issues. In fact, I've been having technical issues as well today, believe it or not. However, we got through it. It's not too bad. Good evening to everybody who's watching currently and are in the chat. Good of you to join. So what is the Monday show going to be about? The Monday shows is going to be, well, exactly what today is. I'm going to be interviewing, going to be one-to-one. None of this leftist comments or cheeky comments that when Banksy throws in on a Wednesday. But of course, me and Banksy will continue with our Wednesday podcast because they are getting more and more popular, shall we say. But without further ado, as if by magic he knew exactly what time to jump on, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Danny Roscoe. Good evening, sir.
How you doing? You're right. You're right. Can you hear me?
Very good. I'm very good. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
Are you tired from the Telford demo, or are you okay?
You know, I'm tired from it. It was hard going. This one, it was hard going. You know, it was a lot more. It affects people a lot more, I think. This one that we did. So we had all that emotion, and then all the adrenaline as well. So yeah, I'm just getting better now.
So, do you yourself take an active part in organising the demo, Danny?
No, not so much. Rather than promoting it and whatnot, it was Danny Tomo doing it, and then other people when he had to leave. So yeah,
sure.
not the last two times, but let's see what goes forward.
Okay. Oh, good stuff. Well, look, you're looking a bit fresh. I'm a bit jealous. I mean, I haven't even been to a demo this weekend, and you're looking. But can I ask you? I'm going to ask a bit cheeky. How old are you, young man?
I'm 41 years old.
No way! Damn.
Honestly, black don't crack. That's what they say.
Damn. I am slightly older than you, but I didn't look as good as that when I was 40 odd years old. But I'm not coming on to you. I'm a married man. Anyway, so before we get into the nitty-gritty and the meat of this today's show, I want to share something with you because I know you go to Speaker's Corner and you do, how shall we say, kick up a storm. What do you think of this?
What do you want to do? Do what you want to do. 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 Muhammad the Stop. Come on, stop. Excuse me, can you leave him alone? You're doing it, stop it! Muhammad, the beautiful. Muhammad, the beautiful. I understand. The beautiful. You. Why did you hit me? Muhammad, the beautiful. Where are you going? Victor, calm down. Let's not get talk. Calm down, Victor. Calm down. Peace be, man. Peace be. Victor.
Okay, so that was courtesy of Busker, who's also a regular attendant at Speaker's Corner. So, Danny, let's have your views on that incident at Speaker's Corner yesterday.
Yeah, well, it's coming on to what's happening all the time at Speaker's Corner, where there is becoming no control. Listen, the police there have no control of anyone, if they're Muslim or if they're black or if they're of some type of ethnicity or they seem to be a threat in any way. The police don't seem to want to do anything apart from get rid of the victim of the crime. We know what happened to Hatun on many occasions, and this is where it's getting to, where now the police are just nowhere to be seen. I saw later on in the day Big T getting properly beat up by a few people, and the police again were nowhere to be seen. And this is where it's getting to, because people are beginning to say, well, we run the park, we're the ones in control, and the police are allowing us to do it. So the violence levels and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And yes, it's a bit of handcuffs, and the old man is coming back and whatnot, but he has every right to. But at the end of the day, the respect. If you're debating someone, or if he's getting on your nerves, just turn around and walk away. You don't need to put your hands on anyone especially if it's an older man. You know, he's not a threat to you anyway, but his words obviously were, because he couldn't do anything apart from do what he did. So that's where it's going to get. It's going to get a lot worse as well. And we need more people to come down there who will represent a different diversity. Yeah, we need to mix it up a lot more. And I always say, when we say, right, we're going to come down on this date and there's going to be a group of lads, people seem to behave themselves, you know. So I think it might need, on a more regular occasions, of more people to come down who are not, you know, Christians predominantly, or Muslims or Africans, you know, so we can mix it up a bit.
But there doesn't seem to be anyway. There doesn't seem to be the same number of people in London that are from the UK or born in the UK, right? So when I moved to London straight from university, early 2000s, people that you would work with, meet everywhere, not just Speaker's Corner, though I didn't attend Speaker's Corner then, but generally they were born in the UK. But London doesn't seem to be full of, or even half, I would say. Well, I would hazard a guess, but it seems to be that there's more immigrants in the UK than in London than anything else, and maybe that's part of the issue, that because of different cultures, different ways of thinking, that we, you know, it's like oil and water. How are we supposed to mix with people that don't respect free speech? And we, obviously, in this country, we're fully aware of free speech, and it's part of our you know, thought process.
Yeah, it definitely is that. I'd say there's 35% of Londoners now would be the original Londoners, would be, you know, English, proper, family tie traditions Londoners. We've been kicked out of the city due to the high rent. And then people will be saying, well, how can the immigrants do it? Well, because they're getting the council houses, they're getting the cheap, affordable houses, or, you know, they're able to finance things through the benefit system. So they're able to do it. And you're right, it is the multicultural side of society that I've always said doesn't work. You can't have multiculturalism in any kind of society because you need the one standard common ground. This is what people need to get behind. I said on Twitter yesterday, you know, when the Doctor Who guy, he's a black gay guy. Now that's not a problem, you would say normally, but when everything now is pro-black, how far has it got to be before diversity? Because that just represents black now. So before that becomes supremacy, because at the moment, if you look at the adverts on TV, if you go down on the underground and you see all the adverts, you see in black, brown faces, that's becoming a supremacy, because you're not seeing a white London British face anymore, and it's starting to eat themselves out. And that on itself will make people feel that they're more, you know, there's more people that, do you know what I mean? They give themselves more, I don't know what the word is, more recognition or whatever, so they can do it.
Are you like me, like, because you've noticed that there's obviously some kind of a policy that they're all adhering to, that I kind of feel uncomfortable, because I can see that the representation of coloured people is it's not equivalent to what society is. At first, I thought it was only happening around London, but as I was traveling up and down the country the last few months, I've noticed on all the different TV networks and all the local newspapers, local advertising, it's absolutely everywhere. Even in a village in Gloucestershire, I saw adverts, right? And I can tell you right now, there was no Indians and there was no black people for God knows how many miles away, because we were so remote. But there was still creating these advertisements that were not representative of the local community. And look, I'm not blind. I'm like you. I'm gonna call a duck a duck. And at the moment, it's just OTT. And I can tell you, there's a lot of people of coloured heritage that are feeling the same.
Yeah, I always call out the anti-white agenda that's happening, and people are like, Danny, hang on a minute, that's a bit strong. But it is literally a critical race theory, anti-white agenda that they are telling. It's like they are manipulating people and trying to brainwash the children to say, well, actually, you being a white English person, you're not the majority in a country that's majority white English. So the representation is gone. And yeah, that's where it starts. As you say, it's in Gloucester. There's, you know, it could be an all-white place in Gloucester, but because they don't want to be called racist, they're like, no, you know, our population is 99% white. but we've got to put on some, some Indians and some blacks or whatever on the advertisements, so we can't be called racist, because there will be people looking to see these places who are fully white and say, hang on a minute, let's have a demo down here. The Black Lives Matter crew, the Black Reformists, let's go down there, have a demo and call every single person racist, and then the council will make radical changes that's not needed. So sometimes it's a preventative, but yeah, you're right. There is a huge anti-white, anti-British, anti-West agenda going on at the moment.
Yeah. All right. So before we get to the meat of this interview, just tell us what's going on here, mate. Because this was yesterday, and I know you got a little bit animated because obviously it was all kicking off. I won't put the volume up so you can talk us through it. Is this patriotic alternative or is this Antifa?
Yeah, well, it's patriotic alternative has turned up, but it's turned up in the style of Antifa. Now, we there's a lot of problems with patriotic alternative coming to a Tommy demo, because people like to say, Tommy, you're a racist, you're a fascist, you're this. Patriotic alternative, if we put it down to on a nationalist level, okay, you can say, hang on a minute, right, we want lower immigration, and same with them. There's some common ground there. But when they go up so far as to say they want repatriation to send them back home and stuff like that, that's when you can't stand with someone like that, because yes, we do want to keep the England as it is, as it always has been for the last 30, 40 years. We don't want to have this wash of immigration coming in. But at the same time, we're not the ones saying that everyone who's black and brown has to go, no matter what you are. What they say, if a dog's born in a stable, it don't mean you're an horse. So they would want to chuck every black and brown person out. So that's where the divide happens. So we told them, you're not welcome. Last time they pulled a banner and they decided to say that the majority of the people there, 70%, were from Patriot Alternative, the first Telford demo. There's nothing about the victims, the survivors, sorry. There's nothing about the children. There's nothing about anything that was going on. It was just all about Patriotic Alternative. So we told them, don't come because you're not going to be welcome. If they want to make their own demo or whatnot, you can do that. If they want to, Mark Collette wants to go out and make his own documentary, do it. Do what you're doing, but you don't support us. So you're only there for a political reason. And this is what you get. When it happens, and it didn't need to happen. It didn't want to happen, but at the end of the day, they've shown up somewhere where they're not wanted. So that's it. We don't want Nazis there. We don't want people who want to chuck everyone out who's black, brown out of the country. We don't want that.
Yeah. So yeah, well said. The funniest thing about Patriotic Alternative, it was actually launched by a British Indian, right? Ralph. I can't remember his surname. Do you know who I mean? He went to Speaker's Corner on behalf of the chap that you just mentioned, and said we're here to launch Patriotic Alternative, and we want all coloured people out. Standing there as a coloured man. I mean, is that self-hatred, or is that just somebody getting paid a lot of money to say stupid things?
I don't know, to be honest. Who knows? And that's what I'm going to say on that one. Who knows? It could even, be some type of miscommunication in it, because you can say, black and brown people, they want black and brown people to go, but somebody who would have said, oh, it's the ones coming in. So you don't know if he's misinformed at that point where it's only the new arrivals coming in that, we need to get them off. And people will say, yeah, that's fair enough. That's a fair comment. So I wouldn't like to comment on that too much.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. All right. So it was Hell, I believe, that helped arrange this meeting. It was her and Max that conversated, and then obviously I got hold of your details. But thank you very much for coming on. We obviously had a gentleman called Andy came on, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and boy, does he hate you guys. Yeah, so exactly. he reeled off a number of issues. I managed to jot some of the things down that that he kind of claimed against you. I know you probably want to set the record straight anyway. So I'm at one point I'll give you the floor and you can put the record straight. But I just wanted to ask you one strong claim that he made on. I don't know if this is true or not. Were you part of Black Lives Matter once upon a time, or is that something that he?
No, definitely not. That's when I heard that, I was like, you know what, enough is enough. I can't have no more lies. This was on a Telegram group, his own group, and somebody said something like, we know that you was with Black Lives Matter or something like that, and I said yes, but you was too dumb. You was too dumb for Black Lives Matter or whatever. And I said yes, but Andy, you held the banner, because there's the video there of Andy holding the Black Lives Matter banner. He's doing this at a demo. So from that, they've jumped on it. Yeah, we told you, we knew you used Black Lives Matter. We knew you, and it's like, oh my God. All right, if you want to say that, say that. But then coming onto a stream continuously over and over again with the only claim of me saying yes, but Andy held the banner. It's kind of mental. So no, I've never been with Black Lives Matter. And
I'm going to put my hands up. I saw a picture of you, and they kind of did this thing up around your beard. Danny, I'm going to be honest. I was convinced. I was like, Danny's definitely been in Black Lives Matter. But so I apologize. Look,
that one there with the communist did. That was when. So on Black Lives Matter. And then on Generation Identity as well, and on Patriotic Alternatives Recruitment. So these are the claims that they put on me at any time. And then there was a Netflix documentary, and someone said, Danny, look at this. And it was Escobar's accountant. And he looked just like me, guy with a big fro, glasses, just like me. So I've clipped it up, and I've done it as a newsreel, and I put Spanish news people behind it. And I've sent it on a stock account to Andy, and I said, look at this. This is the history you want. Within 2-3 minutes, he's put that up onto his page saying, "Oh, this is Danny," basically. And it wasn't. It was from Netflix, and it was nothing to do with me. But I do look like a lot of people. But that one there, the Generation Identity one with the communist bit there, that isn't me.
Okay, fair enough, mate. Thanks for clarifying that. But look, tell us, who is Danny Roscoe? What have you come forward to achieve? Because 1 minute you weren't there, and next minute you were there, and we were both at Telford. I did a quick speech as well, but I never got to speak to you. I did want to interview you, but to be honest, the only time I was within your vicinity, you were there with a megaphone, and you're kind of a little bit intimidating when you're going at it, right? And I was like, maybe later on I'll interview him, but I certainly can't match his energy at the moment. So introduce yourself. Like, what have you come to change? What have you come forward to do? And so, the listeners who are listening now and who are going to be listening, in the future, can understand who Danny Roscoe is.
All right. So I came from nowhere really, because I was happy doing my little Twitter for Brexit, having my little campaigns, doing what I can without being public. There's so many people out there who's public. Tommy's the biggest name, the biggest voice, and he was doing great work. So I'm all happy to support him in my own way. I've got 41. Oh, by then it was 40 years or 39 years without having to do this. And then Black Lives Matter come on the scene. Tommy come out and did a speech, as to say, we can't have people tearing down our statues. We've got to go to London. Before that, on VK, because that's what I was on. I never did social media because of it was just too intrusive for me. I'd get on a few bits and then come off. Twitter was the one where I was happy, because I could just do what I need to do and jump out, and no one really needed to know me. At Facebook and all that, it was just too much for me, to be honest. So when I see VK come out, I got onto there, see what was happening. It was similar like Facebook anyway. So I met a few people on there, and I messaged Tommy and I said, essentially, look, Black Lives Matter is going to try to destroy you, as well as the Muslims will try to destroy you at the same time. I'm here. Let's do something, because I'll just support you in what you're saying, and I'm against their ethos, what they're about. So Black Lives Matter come out anyway, selling the statues were there. then he had to leave, didn't he? Because the black supremacists were giving him so many threats, so many death threats. He left for Spain for a little while, and that's when I thought, you know what, I can't have, especially a white person fighting a black person's battle. This battle needs to be black and black, like anything else. I can say it's under Marxist campaign. I can say what I need to say to the black supremacists, and they can't call me a racist. So then that's when I came out, and I just started doing videos that were totally against Black Lives Matter, and it just gained traction from there. And then Black White Unite, and that's a divisive topic that came out for the reason of a video came out, and I didn't remember it for it. It was one of Tommy's first videos when he said EDL is about Black White Unite, unite the face, unite the races. From that time, they called him a racist. So I was like, do you know what? It's a powerful statement. It's an anti-Marxist statement because of Black Lives Matter, and all lives matter they don't like. So, right, I'm going to get out of the Black White Unite and see if they call me a racist the same way as they did to him. They haven't done that. The media hasn't done anything, in fact, on me. You know, a couple of things, but nothing at all worthy of recognition. So that in itself proves that it's not the words that Tommy says, it's because he's a white English lad, a white working class lad. And yeah, and from that, I'm sharing the knowledge to people about Tommy, about the right-wing movements, and making sure people can see what the truth is. You know, if somebody says, well, Tommy's a racist, I will come out and give them all the links to all the places to say, make your own decision now. The Oxford Union speech, that's a great one. And people can speak to me and say, well, I want to be more involved. What can I do? The media's told me there's only white, skinhead, tattooed hooligans there. And I can give them a safe space. I can say, come with me, we'll do this. But it's more just changing the ideology, changing the way of thinking of everything isn't racist. And if you're of my way of thinking, which is hundreds and hundreds of people are, we've all got to go out on the street. But still, they're intimidated. Not because of the white people that are there, no problem. It's the fact that they don't want the media to then tag onto them that they're racist. So,
yeah, I can understand that, because I only went to Speaker's Corner not because I needed to go there or I had some kind of agenda. Just I don't know if you know Raj, Speaker's Corner, the seat guy. So he was getting attacked on a weekly basis, both verbally and physically sometimes, and saying that he was lying about Muslim grooming gangs targeting Sikh girls. And I'm originally from Leeds. I went to university in Leicester. Obviously, I lived in London. I've lived in other cities, and I have actually met Sikh girls that were targeted and groomed by Muslim grooming gangs, and they weren't always gangs. Here's the thing: sometimes it's just they're from working in a restaurant or working in a kebab shop or working in a taxi run. So I've actually met these girls, and you know, they all, for some reason, they're all from conservative families. They all want to keep it under wraps. They don't even want to go to the police. They don't even want to tell their parents, and so on and so forth. So when I saw that going on, and Raj having to put up with that, and other people were being twisted into attacking Raj, not because they didn't believe him, but because they were just afraid. So I went to Speaker's Corner, and very similar to you, I was like, this is criminal what's happening here. And of course, as soon as I got there, I was everything from racist, I was everything from Islamophobe, I was you know, all the standardized swears, and you know, whatever you want to call them, I received. But one very interesting thing about the documentary, when I watched it the following day, and I don't know if you picked up on this, that the grooming gangs, or certainly those working in the restaurants, were calling Tommy and his mates Islamophobes. And that made me laugh, because if you speak up against Muslim grooming gangs, that's their go-to slur, as if, you know, as if that's got any weight these days.
That's what I mean. They always go to all the slurs, and it's the same as with Tommy. You know, they always just say, "Oh, yeah, no, the far right," and that's why I make a point. You know, I don't have to go and do anything. You know what I mean? I'm not told, hey, Danny, you need to come to this demo, you need to do that. But I like doing it because it's changing the narrative, and it goes to as far as Hope Not Hate in the State of Hate report. Okay, they have a picture from the first demo saying Tommy's back with me, Danny Tomo, Tommy, and Anne-Marie Waters all together. So they're left-wing people who watch the State of Hate. they're going to be thinking, hang on a minute, look, there's a black guy there with everyone that we've been told are racist, and it's not in an anger. You know, I've got my arm around Tommy like that, and we're laughing. So that in itself is making people think out and think about what's going on. And the more we can get people to think rather than go to the standard Islamophobe, racist, token, whatever, we make them think, then they can see the true meaning of what's happening. And then things like the documentary, they'll look at it in a different way. And then they'll be like, yo, I can see this happening somewhere else. Or, yeah, I can appreciate what he's doing. And that's what needs to be done, because we just can't keep going this way. Because if we do, the people who want to speak and the people that need to speak are just going to be silenced.
Yeah, and what an amazing photograph that would have made on the front pages. It was you, Tommy, Anne-Marie Waters, and I can't remember, there was obviously the grooming victim there. But no one took that picture and put it anywhere, right? There was no chance of, oh, look, these guys might not be racist. You know, they might have a fair agenda. None of that. It was like they're just waiting for a photo opportunity where they can, stamp on their racist or far right or whatever the latest slur is.
Exactly. It happens when he goes to court. You know, I've walked across the road. We've seen the Daily Mail and the Sun. We've walked across the road, and I've literally grabbed the bottom of his back there, and I pulled it, and I said, right, so I'm on his shoulder. Right, so we walked across the road. Right, you know, that's going to be it. You know, who's this guy with him? Blah blah blah. Let's change it all. No, they cropped it so tight to his face that literally, you see the one that he's got. It's just literally his face. That's because within a centimetre of my face is there. So instead of putting a full picture and saying, well, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? Let's think about things. They're like, nah, we can't. Let's just crop. Let's edit the black guy out. Let's crop it out. Yeah, racist, far right. It's ridiculous.
All right, so I've got a couple of tough questions for you, Danny. The first one is, Andy claimed that you doxed a lady called Mandy Mosley, who I believe has her own foundation or some movement that helps victims of grooming gangs. Could you shed on light? What's the truth behind that?
I've not doxed anyone. I've not doxed anyone. No.
Why would he say that?
At the end of the day, with Mandy Mosley, right? She's the one that's going around saying X, Y, and Z. You know, because she's blind and she's this and she's that, and she's not allowed to be responded to. You know, if she responded to it, it's you're doing this, you're doing that. Is it because I'm Jewish? Is it because this? Because at the end of the day, yeah, she lived in Birmingham. And I narrowed it down to the area that she's living in, because I firmly believe to this day that she is the granddaughter of Oswald Mosley. The whole family's in the motor car industry, which is the same as Oswald Mosley. Max Mosley obviously is a direct descendant of him, so then she would be a descendant of that. Because she's calling me a racist, she's calling me a fascist, and it's important to say, hang on a minute, if your family is from them lines, then the people should know. But from that, you're doxing me, you're doing this, you're doing that. If I wanted to, I could dox all of them. Clowney, Athena, all of them, if you wanted to. Yeah? But it's not what it's about. It's about just recognizing what they're doing and saying, well, you're a liar, come back with facts. But again, it's not based. If someone could show me the fact, then cool. The fact of her address or whatnot, then we can do that, but they can't.
So what happened? What happened with Andy and Team Tommy? Why? Because I've seen some footage where Andy is firmly part of the group, and then obviously the first time I've come across him, he's making claims that are very anti Tommy Robinson and his team. So do you know what happened? What was the fallout all about?
There's no. First of all, the Tommy inner circle. Well, that's what the Tommy circle, right? There's no such thing. I've never known Tommy circle. So yeah, that's the first lie that's there. The first time I knew about him is when he tagged along on Speaker's Corner. He just turned up at a pub, and I didn't even know who he was. And people had to tell me. So I was like, all right, cool, come with us, kind of thing. But he's never been an editor of us. He's never been in Team Tommy. Nothing like that. But yet,
But he did say in the interview that when we had him on the Wednesday podcast that he's done some editing for the group. Is that not true?
I wouldn't say so. I don't know. He's not done editing for me. He said he did editing for me, and I know he hasn't. I know who does Tommy's editing, so he's not done that. So I don't know what editing he. Do you know what I mean? I can't say for sure. Oh, he has done zero editing, but you know he's got a phone and he's got I think it's Klein Master or something like that. So that's not really the standard of editing that Tommy would need. And I've got my own people doing my videos. So definitely not that. He hasn't, as far as I'm aware, he's somebody who knows people of Team Tommy. He knows Jin Tony, Mark, and things like that. And I think what it is he's tried to get in there with them, and it's not happened. He's not been able to get to Tommy, and he finds that a bit insulting when I've come from nowhere, and then all of a sudden I'm around Tommy a lot. So I think him, the clown world, all these people who've tried to get close to them, it hasn't happened. I'm there. It's happened. So let's have a vengeance against him, and then if we can get rid of him, then maybe we can take the place or something like that. I'm not sure. But the thing is, in a movement when people are called racists a lot, I don't see why they are targeting the prominent black guy. Right? That makes no sense. And I have people through. I've got links with Black White Unite, people I speak to, people I'm saying come across, whatever. And when all these targets happening, they just say to me, Danny, see, I told you people call you racist. People, I can't afford to do that. So I'm not going to come forward yet, to make it calm down a little bit. We'll see how it pans out. So all of this is negative to the movement. So I can't see why somebody, unless they are paid quite well for the people that dislike us, why they'd want to come against us in such a way. And if it was just me, I'd understand, but it's not on me. It's going all the way to Tommy. The claim of 50 million pounds in assets that Tommy's got.
40 million, I think it was.
40 million. Well, that's a ridiculousness when Tommy is so high profile. When he goes in to do his bankruptcy, do you think they're not going to go with a fine toothbrush? Look at Boris Becker. He did a slight few things with his medals and his Wimbledon titles and whatnot. They found it straight away because he's a high profile person. So he's not going to be able to hide any assets. But they're going around saying he is. And it's just detrimental to the movement, to be fair. That's in my opinion.
Sure. All right. So thanks for clarifying that. But the main thing that they seem to be pushing in that group against Tommy and his group is.
All right, there we go. Sorry, man. I just watched one of your things. Two things, right? Danny Roscoe posted my address from the Mandy Mosley herself, right? So
is that Mandy Mosley herself though?
I don't know. It says Mandy Mosley on there. Why would people want to be?
I'm sure Mandy would know how to spell her name with capital M's. I would just think it's a troll account.
I wouldn't do that because she's partially sighted and she likes to use that as a victim.
I see. Okay,
I mean, so she'll come across to you and say, you're being blindest or whatever.
Well, I didn't know she was partially blind. I apologize if any offence was caused, but please continue, Danny.
But I've posted the address, so she's saying that so she can go in the back chat and send it to you. And then below it, you got I was public embarrassment saying that he was asked to do my editing for me by Tony. But that's not being my editor. He claimed that he was my editor. Now, I haven't asked him, so, that's as far as it goes kind of thing.
Sure.
It's the truth between the lies that this group touts, and they all come on here and they're all here, as usual, to swoop on the comments. They're all here.
So in Andy's defense, Andy did clarify that he's not questioning Tommy and Tommy's team or the group around him whether or not Muslim grooming gangs exist. He categorically was able to clarify that he does believe that they exist, and obviously even a child can confirm that by looking at the cases. But the main issue for Andy was, and I'm assuming his whole group, were that the donations that people are giving to the group are not being spent correctly. Now, it's not a public organization. We can't clarify that. Everybody knows when they're donating to Tommy that they are donating to a private entity. So what's your response? Do you have any information of where the donations go? Do you have a shared bank account with them? What can you clarify in that respect?
Yeah. No, there's no shared bank account or whatnot. For my opinion on donations, I've come in this movement for 2 years now. So I'm not the best person to say. But if people want to donate to Tommy, right, they're going to donate to him, right, because they know what he does. They know he goes beyond the pale. He does things that no one else does. Look at this documentary. He went out there and a guy pulled out a strap. Do you know what I mean? Now, whether or not it's a real one or not, it doesn't matter. There is a huge risk of him being shot on the street that day, right? He's shown it. His houses, he's had Muslims there. His whole life, he's been taken down by the establishment. So I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that just want to give him money and say, do you know what? I appreciate what you're doing. Keep doing it, because I couldn't do it. I couldn't have the balls to do it, or the mentality or whatever. And that's what their issue is, that he's spending the money not on survivors, but he's not saying put all of this money into the survivors. And when he has done, like Justice for Nicole, we set up a GoFund for Nicole. Nicole gets 100% of that money. So when there is something to say, you donate to this cause, it's going there. But if it's just a normal donation, people are saying, I want to set up a monthly donation for you for what you're doing, then I don't see why anyone, even me, should even have the right to question. Because it's not. People are saying, it's like going down the pub and someone saying, do you know what, it's a score, mate. Have a good one. Have a couple of drinks with me or whatever you want.
Sure. Okay. So let's move forward to the journalism side of things that you're doing with the Tommy movement. So you guys have set up a website. Forgive me, the name I slipped out of my mind. What's the name of the website that you guys have set up?
Well, we're not set it up. There's a business called Urban Scoop, and they're the ones that are pushing things through. Now, I've spoken to Urban Scoop. I'm contributor there, and I've spoken to them a good few times. And essentially, what they are, and a lot of people are doing this as well. You see, like Talk TV and stuff like that. They're the ones that are saying, we need a more free journalist, and that's why we've got defund the media, because it's not about the mainstream media anymore. It's about things like us. Like this channel, YouTube channels, stuff like that, alternative platforms. Set up like, we want a platform where.
Oh, I think we're losing you, Danny. You still with us? You're frozen.
Free of any time. Can you see me?
Yeah, you've come back now. You had frozen for a second.
All right, cool. See, I started. So I get into a flow and then this happens. But yeah, so Urban Scoop is just basically saying that we want true, honest journalism. We want to be able to put out whatever we want to put out. Especially with me when I'm against doing the anti-Marxist stuff, and even that it's even turned into Maoist and things like that. So good times ahead, but it's not what they say is a company made from Tommy or it's from something else. It's a bona fide company who just wants to do what it can for free speech, I suppose, And whilst no one puts Tommy on, why wouldn't you go for the most controversial person to get your clicks and the person who produces some of the most best documentaries? Because at the end of the day, if that went to Cannes, if somebody says, right, I'm going to put this documentary and we're going to try and send it down to Cannes, who's going to get the recognition for it? It's Urban Scoop, because they're the ones that are putting the money behind it. They're the ones that are making sure that he can do what he can do. So it's a win-win situation, but people seem to think because they're focusing all their efforts onto him, which they need to, because he's the star signing that they've got. So because they're doing that, it's got to be run by Tommy. But again, if it was, then people would have known before now.
Sure. Okay, fair enough. So what can we look forward to in the future from Danny Roscoe? What are we going to see? What do you have planned? We're approaching the main part of summer. We obviously, no doubt, we're going to have a part 3 of the Telford. Tell us what you've got lined up. Anything that you want to respond to what Andy said. I'm just going to shut up. I'm going to give you the floor. give us the lowdown what we can look forward to.
What we look forward to is more of the same of what we're getting through, through Tommy. He's doing the documentary, and then obviously he's going to do a road show. He's going to go up and down the country doing the road show. And what I'm going to be doing through Black White Unite, because it is coming up to summer in certain venues, I've got a few venues done at the moment, is having proper Black White Unite parties. You know, the parties where we used to go, you would have been the same down in London. You got the Scar parties, it turns into, you go Bagley's Warehouse and you've got the jungle stuff. Having these type of open parties where anyone can come down, it's going to, it's be on private property, but we'll be able to put our speakers up and whatnot. And it's summertime, so hopefully get a few outside in the air, maybe a beach party if they let us. Doubt they will, but we can always try it. Doing that just to get people back together, building a community back, and by the end of the summer, coming into November, hopefully we'd have all been able to have more of a unification and say, put your middle fingers up to anyone who cares to say that you're racist because you support blah blah blah. And at the end of the day, when they say that, I say to people, right, if you're behind Black White Unite, nobody can really call you racist, because when you're saying that, colour means nothing to me, is the content of what you produce, right? So it's who you are that means more to me than your colour, right? So you can't, I don't care that you're calling me racist, because I know what I stand for. And that's what I need more people to be doing. And once the ball starts rolling with that, it will get bigger and bigger and bigger. But there's definitely going to be two parties that are going to be, let's say mini festivals, bit of the yard man cooking there, a bit of, the Thai street food over here. See what we can do, because we're due it. We've had a bad 2 years and we're due a little bit of fun this summer.
Awesome. So where is this going to be, or is the venue yet to be confirmed?
They're yet to be confirmed. I've got one in Southend. I'm speaking to someone in Southend that wants to do it, and I've got one in London who does it, and one in Kent as well. The Kent one is near enough definite, because it's his own. It's already a club anyway, so he's like, yeah, you can do what you need to do, as long as we can make some money on the bar base, essentially. And the other two, the Southend one is by the beach, so I don't know if that's happening. I've spoken to the council, but they're not very responsive. But I can do what I can do. Even if it is literally, we can do it old school style, generate a couple of speakers and see what happens,
Head to the beach.
Yeah, exactly. We're not doing anything illegal. We used to do these type of stuff, and why not?
Yeah. And are you going to be live streaming it? How can the people that can't get to the party, how can they enjoy it?
Yeah, no, we'll be live streaming everything. Obviously, I've got the Getter, which you can find me on Getter, and you can find me on Telegram as well. So a lot of these things will be live streamed. We're just trying to get it up, because there's a lot of people out there who are live streaming, and they've got like the proper kit. So I'm looking into seeing exactly what everybody's got, so then I can start having something. I can just dump a camera there, have a guy behind it just to walk around. But the connection wise and the internet quality wise, it's like this what we've got now. Some people got some amazing stuff. So it's all about investing.
Sure. Absolutely. So this Black and White Unite movement, now the slogan is powerful. It's obviously inclusive. Why are you not able to attract more attention with it? Why is it not being pushed by absolutely everybody? Because surely it is more inclusive than most things out there.
Yeah, but we're in a society at the moment, okay? And this is what I say to a lot of the people. My day-to-day stuff, people just say, oh, Danny, you just do stuff on Telegram and you do this. What do you do to bring people across? Right? My day-to-day stuff is going to businesses saying, back this or not. Give me a response. If you don't want to do it, give me a response. And then I can put it out with a nice montage of people who are anti-unification. I've done it to one TV broadcaster, media person, and they want to speak. And that's happened, a few days ago. I think last week, Thursday, they say they want to speak to me. But for the past 30 to 40 years, we've been indoctrinated by critical race theory, right? This comes down to the Marxist education system that we've had. And that's why people can't get behind it, because not can't get behind it as that, but they can't just say, yeah, that's a great thing, let's run with it, because they know that the whole schedule has been about critical race theory. And now they straight away, they want to say, no, there's no critical race theory, we've got to go together. No, hang on a minute. White people, they're the antichrist, and black people are the ones oppressed. What's going on? We can't. So it's getting through to people's brains. You look at it and you think, it's a no-brainer. All lives matter. You look at that, it's a no-brainer. But the two things are the ones that is called white supremacy, or it's called a far-right slogan. And that's the whole problem there. You've got to de-critical race theory their mind, so they can actually see it for what it is. And if we got together and united and didn't care about the colours or whatnot, we'd be in a much better place. Then we could then step onto Parliament. We could have a unification of people, even if it's 1 million people across the UK, which is feasible. That was together. We could then say, right, we are all going to put our votes to this person. How is the rivals of the opposition is going to help us or try and persuade us to use it towards them? It's very powerful having a unity. That's why they keep dividing us. That is why they can't have me on every single place. You know, the paper, Danny Roscoe did this again with Black White Unite. They want to try and hush it down and see if I hush down, because they don't want unity. And that's essentially it. They want an anti-white agenda to keep putting people into boxes. And then it's either going to be subjugation for everyone, or there's going to be a huge riot and there's going to be huge civil disturbance. And that's good for people at the top. It's not good for us. But they want what's only good for them.
Yeah, so you basically highlighted the divide and rule strategy that they use very well. I must say.
They use it very, very well, and people are complicit to it as well. And even when they're not thinking about it, they're still using that type of stuff. You know, when people say, "No, I don't agree with that. I don't do that," and then you go into it, and you have a conversation with them, and you say, "There you go. There's where you're dividing. That's where you're helping the government or you're helping the business." You know. Black pound Saturday, that goes out everywhere. Everybody spends £1 in a black man shop. Hang on a minute, how racist is that? So why don't you then just go and, you know, make sure that you'll give your £1 to the guy next door to the black guy and make it visible to him that because of these people are doing that, yeah, for you, I'm not going to buy anything in there. So today your takings are going to go down because they are saying that they know what you want and you want £1 from me on this Saturday rather than give me a choice.
Well said. All right, so I'm sharing with you on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, the Danny Roscoe Show. That is the YouTube channel. If you want to go over there and subscribe, in fact, I'm going to make sure I get all future videos as well. And you're also on Getter, aren't you? And any other social media platform?
Yeah. Getter under Danny Roscoe 7 is verified, so it's easy to find. And Telegram, the Danny Roscoe Show.
Awesome, brilliant. Any final thoughts from you, Danny?
No, it's been a great little show. Good talking to you, and thank you for having me on. And that's it. How do you? Someone says, "If Violet Sky, how do you find out more about Black White Unite?" Just come into the Telegram group, and you'll get there from the Telegram group. There's a protest side of it, which is the army, the Black White United Army. And we there's places to guide you everywhere. So get on the Telegram group and you can find out exactly what you want. But yeah, it's been a great show, Manny, and I appreciate you having me on, mate.
Thank you very much for coming on, Danny, and clarifying the issues that were lingering. We really appreciate you coming on, and hopefully we get you back on, maybe for a debate next time.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm always up for a debate. So get as many controversies. If you can get some of them black supremacists on, right, and don't tell them that I'm on. Right, and then get me on through the back door. It'll be interesting because they always seem to run and hide from me.
I'll certainly try. I'm trying to line up an interview with a BLM activist. So if I can convince them, I'll definitely set up a debate.
All right, wicked.
Okay, have a great evening, mate. See you.
Buddy.
Bye-bye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, an interesting interview. That was Danny Roscoe. So thank you to him for coming on. I could see some of you were not very happy with my questioning and what have you. It is the way it is. I don't want to be setting up interviews where I'm tricking or I'm kind of taking cues from people and the rest of it. I think he answered it honestly. If you guys think he didn't, I cannot do much about that, but I'm sure some of you will be tweeting or posting about it in the near future. Next week, next week, I need to get full confirmation, we're getting Simon Lord. We're going to be doing a full interview with Simon Lord, aka I Still Hate It Here, season 2. Now, Simon has been attacked. Okay, he's been attacked. People around him have been attacked, and it's been disgraceful. So he's been busy doing a few things. But if he can confirm, if he's not too busy, I'd like to have him on and let him tell his story. I don't think I'll need to speak too much, to be honest, because Simon is full of information. But let's see if he confirms. If not, we do have some other interviews lined up. Now on Wednesday, while Banksy is not in, we're having a full, Wendy, are you still there? We're having a full conspiracy theory live stream, or should I say conspiracy fact, where we are going to be showing you some pretty amazing information and videos, and it's going to be a full panel. We could have as much as 8 people on the panel, and we'll get Hassan on. Look, Hassan, unless he's abusive to somebody at least once an hour, he doesn't feel right. So Hassan, maybe you'll come on, and then I can, when you get too high rate, I can kick you off. We'll do our normal Wednesday merry-go-round if you like. All right. Okay, yes, Wendy, you've already had you already had an invite. I don't think do you read your messages? I'm sure I sent it. Anyway, Jupiter's hopefully coming on. Oh God, Hassan and Jupiter on the same panel. It's going to be fireworks. Who else is coming on? Yorkshire Pudding from Speaker's Corner Online. Obviously, who else? Hassan, Wendy, Jupiter. Open Your Eyes UK. You guys have met him a few streams back. Moon, Angel Moon, she's coming on. Banksy's wig, that's hilarious. Can somebody tell me who's behind that account? That's brilliant. Actually, Banksy's wig might have to come on just so we can annoy Banksy. But let's see, there's a few other people coming on from Speaker's Corner Online. So it's going to be good. It's going to be very good. So that is my hour up. Let me just choose a video to play out for you guys, which I should have done before. Yes, I know. Right. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the stream. We're going to be getting a lot more guests on in the coming weeks. I shall see you all on Wednesday. Thanks for staying with me. See you later.
As I walked down one May morning betime, I met a maid from home had strayed, just as the sun did shine. What makes you rise so soon, my dear? Your journey to pursue. Your pretty little feet, they tread so neat, strike off the morning dew. I'm going to feed my Father's flock, his young and tender lambs, that over hill and over vale are waiting for their dams. Oh, stay,